and then you make sure that you incorporate that into your schedule and your daily life.
Yeah, yeah, and what I appreciate about the story, Sam, is that it, it it's a never ending process, right? Where you just keep learning about yourself, you keep growing, and you've realized what you've done for your done about your health in the last decade plus, and you're doing something about it right now. It's never too late, right? I guess on that theme of learning, um, when you think about some of the things where you failed at as a leader, what comes up, and what did you learn from that?
Very good question. And I think failure is definitely a stepping stone to success. And I'll tell you, any leader who says that they haven't failed at stuff is just absolutely lying. Because we all learn. We all learn through failure. For me, some of the things that I've learned through one, I would say, was earlier on in my career, very early in my career, I had the privilege of joining a startup. This was in India, and I was the first sales executive that they hired. And within 2.5 years, I grew that organization to about 76 people, and had a lot of assistant managers under me, and it was a fantastic time. But let's remember, I was young, and when you're young, you do not your drive to succeed sometimes gets the better of who you are as a person. And I don't know if I'm quite honestly, made all the right decisions by all the people that reported to me, right? And when I think back, I was like, maybe I could have handled those situations differently, right? I could have been more human to those people. Um, and you learn from that, right? So that's the reason why. That was another reason why when I went into leadership the second time over here at Salesforce, it took me a long time to get back into it, was because I wanted to make sure I'm going to be the right person for the people that I serve, right? So that's definitely one. The second thing was just hiring the right people. Um, it's such a critical part of um, who of what you do to the rest of the team and the rest of the organization. Hiring the right person and the right, I would say, culture fit, even though sometimes with culture itself is a wrong terminology. But I'm going to stay a little old school and use the word culture, because when you've got a functioning team, there are certain things that the team does together, and there's a certain way the team functions together. You got to make sure that whoever comes in is able to cope and adapt, and be a part of that, right? And bring in practices along with that. Like if they bring in great practices, the team is for the better. But hiring that right person is important. And so when you ask me what mistakes I've made mistakes of hiring the wrong person. And it has cost the team dearly, more than it has cost me. And it's important to recognize that and to make sure that you don't. I can't say will I ever not make the wrong hire. Probably not. You never know, right? Sometimes people put on a facade, or they're the avatar of who
Mm-hmm.
they really are. But you've got to make a sincere effort in every way possible. So I changed the way that we were hiring. We changed the methodology. We changed the way that people would present themselves. I made sure that if I was hiring somebody, three of my team members or four of my team members would talk to them too, because I wanted to make sure that they had that experience of speaking to this new member who might come on, the ability to give me some feedback and learn from that. So I made that much more of a consensus-based process than an individual hiring process. So yeah, we learn from mistakes. I've made a ton of them. I will make mistakes as a leader, but it's important to learn.